What was the devil's first temptation? This one will blow your mind. I've never heard this before, but I was listening to Myron Golden speaking today, and he said this, and I thought, oh, that's so interesting. The devil's first temptation was to bring our focus to lack. What? Exactly. So the story of Adam and Eve, now whether you know this, know you're a Christian or you study the Bible or not, most people know the story of Adam and Eve, that God made the garden and then he put Adam and Eve in the garden. And what the Bible says is that he said, you may freely eat of every tree in the garden except one. Right? I mean, God's focus was on massive abundance. He put him in the middle of a massive, beautiful garden. He said, eat of everything. He said, I'll just make the one exception. Just don't eat of this one tree, right? Just the one. And what the devil did was he deceived Eve. And instead of saying, and he twisted the words and he said, oh, you can't eat all the trees. You can't eat this one. And he brought her over, and he's like, and she said, "Well, no, God said don't eat that one." He said, "That's because God knows that when you eat it, you'll be as smart as Him." Essentially, I'm paraphrasing, but He drew Eve in and had her focus on the thing that she lacked. In the midst of great abundance, He drew her into the thing that she did not have, and I just think that is so profound. Like, think about that. Like, how often have you been drawn and focused on the things that you don't have? Because I've done that for sure. Now, I'm a big forward thinker. I'm a big progressive thinker. So I try to always think of like I'm working towards something. I think that's different than focusing on things I don't have. Like, oh my gosh, I don't have a car or my dream car. I don't have the dream car that I want. Is much different than I have a vision to get this car and I'm going to work towards it. That's a different mentality. But when we sit there and we just focus on what we don't have, it's just a recipe for disaster, and a recipe for depression, and a recipe for lethargy. I mean, because when you just focus on what you don't have, there's nothing you can do about it. But if you start being thankful for the great abundance around you, I think you can find so much to be thankful for. People are being completely affected by this hurricane right now on the East Coast. I'm like, as my heart goes out for them and pray for them, and I hope for the best for them, I'm also at the same time thankful that I don't live in a place where we get hurricanes. I don't live in a place where we have earthquakes. I moved up from Los Angeles. We had to deal with earthquakes. And so now I live in a completely different place, and I'm so thankful. I mean, it's just the little things that you can be thankful for. I'm thankful that I have the clothes on my back, that I get to go to work tomorrow, and the house that I live in. It's just so many things that we can be thankful for, and then we can strive towards doing things in the future, as opposed to oh, I don't have that. So that's it for today. Just wanted to encourage you and challenge you to be thankful for something. And if you spend some time in thankfulness, that fear and worry will just not have room to fester and grow.